Hey America. So I didn't even plan on making this video today. So I'm gonna be real with you up front. This story, it starts with black people, but it does not end there. So anyway, earlier today a friend dropped me a link to Jill Scott's rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. I didn't even know it existed, but it kind of sparked something in me. And it made me think about that other video where I was trying to cram everything about the universal basic income into a 3-minute clip. Wasn't doing it justice. But the song also reminded me that the pain we carry didn't end with slavery. It just got rebranded. It got buried under patriotism and policy. It got dressed up as economics. But the truth, we were never really freed. We were just abandoned. So let's talk about it. Let's tell the truth. The sterling truth. What was done to us? The abandonment, the denial of dignity, the forced survival. That system didn't stop with slavery. It evolved. It expanded. And now, everyone who isn't rich or powerful is stuck inside it. So this video isn't just about race. It's about humanity. It's about fixing a system that devalues people unless they're profitable. The 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery. It just rephrased it. It said slavery is illegal except as punishment for a crime. That one line created a loophole big enough to fit an entire prison industry through. Convict leasing, chain gangs, mass incarceration. All legal, all American, but all rooted in that one damn sentence. Ava DuVernay laid it out in the documentary 13th. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It shows exactly how that loophole turned slavery into a business model that still runs today. Meanwhile, while people were being arrested for vagrancy, just for being poor and unemployed, the U.S. government that had promised 40 acres and a mule gave the land right back to the same elites who started the damn war. The people were told they were free, but they were set up to fail. No land, no wealth, no protection. Just a new kind of poverty wrapped in the illusion of liberty. So in 1865, General Sherman issued Special Field Order Number 15. It was a real promise to give freed black families 40 acres of land. But as soon as Lincoln was assassinated, President Andrew Johnson reversed it and handed the land back to the slave owners. So when I say we were abandoned, I mean intentionally. And look, you don't have to believe me. Fact check me. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. It's real history. But let me tell you something about me, though. So, my grandfather died when my father was 13. They said he died of old age, but nobody really knows how old he was. Because back then, if you weren't white or wealthy, birthdays didn't always come with birth certificates. You could live your whole life, work, raise children, die of old age, and still be invisible on paper. That's not just bureaucracy, that's erasure. That's what it means to be born into a system that never truly saw you. My family didn't come from land or legacy. We came from survival. Fragmented lines, missing fathers, siblings with different last names. Not because of failure, but because when society abandons people, they do what they have to keep going. My dad is 77 now, about to turn 78. But I still see the silence in him, the strictness, the unspoken pressure to just survive. He was shaped by a father who lived through that abandonment, and I was shaped by him. That's 3 generations of trauma, 3 generations of trying to outrun a system that keeps moving the finish line. And I'm not some rare exception. There are thousands of black families out here, just 1 generation removed from slavery, still carrying the weight. But here's the part nobody really talks about. When slavery ended, it wasn't just the end of forced labor. It was the beginning of forced survival. Excuse me. Before 1865, the slave owner was legally responsible for feeding, clothing, and sheltering the people they enslaved, not out of kindness, but because they were seen as property. Once slavery was abolished, that responsibility didn't shift to the state. It shifted to the people themselves. So you're free now. Figure it out. That was the deal. That was the nexus moment, the birth of modern economic abandonment. Because what came next wasn't justice. It wasn't the system, or it was a system that said, if you're hungry, that's on you. If you're homeless, you're lazy. If you excuse me. If you die poor, you just didn't hustle hard enough. That's not freedom. That's structural neglect. And that mindset didn't stay in America. It went global. America exported it. Colonial powers copied it. Corporations fed it. Governments wrapped it in trade deals, austerity, and debt traps. Now we've got a world full of people trying to prove their worth by how much they produce, instead of recognizing that life has value before the paycheck. This isn't just an American lie. It's a global disease. But let's zoom out for a sec. Capitalism, for all its flaws, did what it was designed to do. It rewarded competition. It drove innovation. It built the modern world. But, you know there's always a but. It also rewarded selfishness. It punished empathy. And it created systems built not to last, but to break. Phones that fail in a few years. 401ks instead of guaranteed pensions. So your future depends on the stock market. Schools that train kids to obey, but not to question. Even success has become hoarding more than you need, while billions scrape just to survive. So yeah, the system worked, but now it's working against us. And unless we reset the floor, unless we decide that human life matters more than profit, it'll keep chewing people up and spitting them out. That's why I think we need a universal basic income. This isn't socialism. It's not a handout. It's a moral correction, a structural apology. And before anybody starts yelling about socialism or just get a job, let me ask you something. If you think freedom means being one missed paycheck away from disaster, is that really freedom? If you're working 2 jobs and still can't afford rent, is that a moral failing, or is that proof the system was rigged from the start? And if you serve this country like I did, then you know damn well how many vets end up homeless after they gave everything they had. That's not weakness, that's betrayal. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, nobody gave me anything, maybe that's the problem. You shouldn't have had to suffer just to earn basic dignity, and neither should anyone else. Hell, even Martin Luther King Jr. saw it coming. He called for a guaranteed income because he understood the fight wasn't just for civil rights, it was for economic rights. That work was never finished, but we can finish it now. I mean, hell, the Declaration of Independence promised every American the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Maslow's hierarchy proves that's impossible if the bottom layers, food, shelter, and security, are missing. So this isn't about left or right. This is about making America live up to its own damn words. I mean, you've heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. But I've always felt it's bigger than that. It takes a tribe. But that tribal mindset, that sense of collective responsibility, has been shattered. Broken by slavery, buried by capitalism, forgotten by design. But we can bring it back. we can build a new foundation, one that includes everyone this time. Universal basic income isn't the ceiling, it's the floor. It won't make people rich. It just makes sure they don't get buried under poverty again and again and again. It's about dignity, about justice, about finally keeping the promise that should have been honored from the very founding of this country. See, my grandfather, he didn't leave behind land or wealth or even a recorded birthday, but he left behind me. And I'm standing here with his blood in my veins saying, enough. We're done surviving. It's time to start living. Read the full amendment package, links in the description. Contact your state legislator. Share this message. This is the Sterling Truth. I'm out.